It's time to take a look at what's happening around Wyoming for Friday, October 10th. I'm Mac Watson, bringing you headlines from the Cowboy State Daily News Center. Brought to you by the Wyoming Business Council. Wyoming youth are our future, but they're leaving the state at almost twice the national average. What would bring them back home? Share your bold ideas with the Wyoming Business Council at wbc.pub/story. In an interview with Cowboy State Daily's Jackson Walker, the Evanston, Wyoming Mayor Kent Williams on Thursday confirmed that the city plans to discontinue the use of its gas chamber to euthanize animals.
Evanston, Wyoming was the only remaining city in the U.S. to still use a gas chamber. The mayor actually told Cowboy State Daily that they are going to disband the use of their chamber. This decision is a huge win for animal advocates who felt that the use of a gas chamber to euthanize animals was cruel and inhumane. Now, Chief of Police Mike Vranish told Cowboy State Daily, however, he still feels that the gas chamber was a humane way to treat animals, especially given the alternative of a lethal injection.
The move by the city of Evanston comes after a unanimous Tuesday decision by the Green River City Council to ban the use of its chamber. The Outdoors Heritage Coalition, which is a Montana-based sportsmen's group, and two legislators have filed a lawsuit against the Montana Fish and Wildlife Commission and Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks. Outdoors reporter Mark Hines reports some hunters and lawmakers are saying if Montana doesn't loosen wolf hunting and trapping restrictions, the predators can't be killed fast enough to put a significant dent in the state's wolf population.
We reported previously that a lot of people balked over their proposal to up the kill quota for the hunting and trapping season this year in Montana up to 500. They lowered it a little bit to 452, but now there's kind of a counter suit, an actual lawsuit has come out. Two Montana legislators and then a sportsman's coalition group up there are suing the state saying the regulations are too restrictive and they need to be able to kill more wolves faster in order to get the population knocked down. And Montana is sitting at the best estimates right around maybe just shy of 1,100 wolves right now.
The lawsuit is the latest move in ongoing disputes over Montana's wolf management policies. A man accused of conspiring with his friend to kill a 23-year-old big Piney man with a compound bow back in February agreed last week to plead guilty to a lesser charge than the one filed against him 7 months earlier. Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland reports this means the death penalty is off the table for the 19-year-old defendant.
Prosecutor dropped his pursuit of the death penalty, so he was facing life in prison. Rather than go to trial, he struck a plea agreement last week in which the prosecutor would drop that down to the second-degree conspiracy, which is 20 to life, and the prosecutor and the defense attorney would agree on a 54 to life recommendation.
Orion Schlesinger was charged in February with conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, which is punishable by life in prison or the death penalty, and with felony theft, which is punishable by up to 10 years in prison. After a Natroni County high school senior said her First Amendment rights were potentially being infringed upon for trying to start a club affiliated with Turning Point USA, the state's top education official backed her publicly on Thursday. Cowboy State Daily's Steve Bonnell reports the Superintendent of Public Instruction, Megan Dagenfelder, issued an official Wyoming Department of Education statement on the matter.
She told me today via email that she's confident that the local school board and school district leadership are going to handle this. So it remains to be seen how that's going to play out. But both Kylie Wall and the superintendent went to this school. So there's a personal connection there.
Now, Superintendent Dagenfelter also stated that administrators and teachers must foster environments that are safe for ideas and debate, not closed classrooms where only certain viewpoints are tolerated. I'll be back with more news right after this.
Did you know 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime? Early detection saves lives, and regular mammograms are one of the most effective ways to detect breast cancer early. Find peace of mind and relieve the pain of not knowing where your breast health stands. Get your mammogram at Outpatient Radiology, where we are proud to put your comfort and care first. We find the answer for your peace of mind.
So far, most of Wyoming's data center announcements have revolved around the city of Cheyenne. But Cowboy State Daily's Renee Jean reports there's plans for a new data center in the state announced by a familiar company.
This data center is headed for a completely different location. Casper has not gotten as much traction in the data center area. This will be the first major data center to announce for Casper. This one in Casper, which is also a Prometheus hyperscale project. So Evanston and Casper are both Prometheus hyperscale. This is the third project that Prometheus has announced.
The data center will start with a minimum $500 million investment for an initial 200 megawatts, but could scale up to 1.5 gigawatts in all, with up to 600 employees and overall economic impact of up to $3.1 billion. That's based on economic impact study commissioned by Prometheus Hyperscale for a similar center it's building in Evanston. The Wyoming Supreme Court on Tuesday denied the state's request to overrule a lower court and let a new school choice scholarship program go into effect, at least while the case against it is ongoing. Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland reports the program, for now, is put on hold.
This school choice scholarship program is paused during Wyoming Education Association's constitutionality challenge against it. And the Wyoming Supreme Court was asked, the state asked the higher court, like, hey, undo this pause so these families can get access to these scholarships while this case is ongoing. And the high court, with not really any explanation, which is common, they're fairly terse orders, said, no, we're not going to undo the pause during the case. But the case is still ongoing and the constitutional questions remain.
Scheduled to have begun July 1st, the act would have allocated up to $7,000 per year per child to qualifying families on a first-come, first-served basis to spend on approved private school and homeschool programs via state-held scholarship accounts. A 60-year-old Casper man facing sentencing Thursday on child pornography and drug charges fired his attorney, then got him back, and then learned that his attempt to withdraw his guilty plea was not going to be granted by the judge. Cowboy State Daily's Dale Killingbeck reports defendant Mark Chenez gets to spend some more time free on his $75,000 bond after his reappointed defense attorney told Natrona County District Judge Catherine Wilking that he was not prepared to represent his client at the sentencing hearing.
He filed a motion. He was supposed to be sentenced, but he filed a motion to withdraw his guilty plea, and he also tried to fire his attorney. His attorney had submitted a motion to withdraw his services for this individual. He's charged with 6 counts of child porn. He apparently wanted to extend his time. He's on bond. He's on a $75,000 bond. He appeared in court and challenged the representation of his attorney. He said that his attorney didn't consider that some Google Doc and some Spectrum connections show that somebody else put those child pornography photographs and videos on his phone.
Now, the judge said that Chenez's attempt to withdraw his plea came late in court proceedings. Chenez on June 18th entered a plea deal with Nelson where he pled guilty throughout an Alford plea, which allows defendants to admit guilt to charges while maintaining they are innocent of the crimes, to 6 counts of sexual exploitation of children and 1 count of possession of a controlled substance. And hunters who spend extended amounts of time in the woods often take their haircut business with them. Cowboy State Daily's Jackson Walker reports some Wyoming barbers welcome the break and then look forward to getting much furrier customers back at the close of hunting season.
A lot of barbers see a lull during hunting season when most of their male clients go away, seclude themselves in the wilderness, and seek different kinds of animals. Now, when they return after this period of time, these men have gotten incredibly hairy and they need haircuts to be presentable to their families. So barbers tell me that they often see a surge in business after this lull, and it's a great time to reconnect with these customers.
One barber told Cowboy State Daily that at the end of the hunting season, he sees his clients return with full beards and long hair. These cuts are often not as fun due to the excessive hair growth. And that's today's news. Get your free digital subscription to Wyoming's only statewide newspaper by hitting that daily newsletter button on cowboystatedaily.com. And you can watch this newscast every day by clicking subscribe on our YouTube channel or listen to us on your favorite podcast app. Thanks for watching. I'm Mac Watson for Cowboy State Daily.